Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Yard, brought to you by Restore the Order. I am your host, Madison Johnson, here with the 71st Miss Grambling State University, Jess'Lyn D. Sanders. Hey, Jess'Lyn.
Hi, Madison.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, that's good. I'm so excited for this interview, particularly because I was Miss Grambling last year, so I feel like we're going to have a little
good
teaser.
time.
It's going to be good. So just run me through your day so far. Tell me how your morning's been, what's been going on.
Well, we just got back from Cotton Bowl Monday. So, wait, what's today? Tuesday? That should explain my day. Well, so this morning I started off with class at 9:30, and then after class I went back home to get ready, and then I came straight here. So not too much today. Tuesdays and Thursdays are usually my least busy days. So Tuesdays and Thursdays I just have one class. So far that's all.
That's good. That's good. What class did you have?
I have entrepreneurship.
Okay, I took that class, and it was hard. Very hard.
All right, we're working on a project right now. So I just need to catch back up today.
How was Dallas?
Dallas was good. We had the opportunity to go to Fidelity Investments and learn more about the company. I am a business management major, so a little bit of that actually resonated with me, but then they also talked about like the accounting resources they have, and then the next day we also toured AT&T headquarters, and that was also fun because they also talked about the opportunities that AT&T provides, and then both days we got to meet some Gram Fam alumni. So it's always good to see other Gram Fam taking off in their careers. And then of course Cotton Bowl was the star of the show. We let PV
I was trying to beat the traffic when I left the game. It was like third quarter. We were in the lead. I said, Grambling going to win.
Yeah. But I mean, the G-men, they did well. They definitely fought for it. It was just one little touchdown, and then we did. If the referees would have counted that one touchdown before, we would have had it in the bag. Yeah. But it's okay. We gonna get them next year. And the court 8. So at least
8 down.
Yes, the court 8 down. So thank you. So next year we gonna get them.
You brought up me to my next question. My first question was really why Grambling, but I wanted you to tell me about your major and your career aspirations.
Okay, so my major is business management. So my career aspirations is I want to own my own real estate firm. So I actually do real estate on the side. I have one real estate mentor in Austin, and then I've had a internship called Project Destined, which was commercial real estate. And then at Grambling, they do provide, through Arizona State University, there's a partnership where you can take real estate courses. So I've taken 2, but I'm still debating if I want to move to Georgia, Atlanta, or Dallas, where you're from. But they say Triple D. To start off my real estate career. And then I also want to start off my own nonprofit. Okay. So Beyond the Mic, Unleash Your Voice, Read Your Story, that was my platform, but eventually I want to start it as a nonprofit. So it will deal with helping young women without female guidance or like with parent issues or without any guidance in a sense, kind of help them grow into young women and get them on the right path in a sense.
Okay, yeah, that's really, really good. Like, I did not know you did real estate.
Yes.
That's so cool.
So I know you had asked why Grambling. So to begin with, I actually wanted to go straight into real estate school. My plans changed due to some like family problems. I ended up coming to Grambling. So just to backtrack a little bit, my friend Keyshawn, his family are like big Gram Fam alumni. All of his family, I went to Grambling. I am a first-gen student, and where I grew up, I had no clue about HBCUs. I was pushed on more like University of Texas, U of H, like the big, predominantly white institutions. I knew nothing about HBCUs. And then again, I was told just take the easy route, just like get a job and just like work your way up. I really wasn't taught the importance of education. But my friend, he was like, well, just come to Grambling, see if you like it. And at first I was like, what's Grambling? And then I had a lot of like doubts, like, oh, you'll drop out. So I did come in. I basically took a leap of faith. I left Texas, changed my number, basically like restarted, not really sure not really sure what was going to happen, but just needing to get away from home. And now I look at it kind of as like a blessing in disguise, because if I would have never taken that leap of faith, I would have never been here today. So now I'm just like, thank God, even though like at that time it was so scary, thank God I just listened to my friend. I was like, okay, well, let me try Grambling, because Grambling made a strong woman now. So that's why I chose Grambling. And like I said, real estate has always been something I wanted to do. So now it's just like a side hustle that I'm into.
I can really relate to that story coming to Grambling. I was really unsure. My parents came here, and I was like, okay, I came from a predominantly white high school.
Yes.
So trying to Grambling, I was like, and then my school's all girls.
Oh,
so
Lord.
I was scared. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, but it definitely helps mold you into the person you want to be. And I've noticed at HBCUs, like, you're not just a number or a percentage, but they really do care about you and pour into you and want the best for you. And I see that Grambling has done amazing wonders for you. So that's exciting. So we're now officially the 71st Miss Grambling State University. So tell me what campaigning was like, and why did you run for Miss Grambling?
So I look at me running for Miss Grambling as God calling me into this position. Like I said, I came to Grambling on a leap of faith. It's actually very funny. My grandma would always be like, oh, girl, I can see you as the next Miss Grambling. But I would always be like, I can't see it myself. Like, that's a lot. Like, kudos to those who can, because I was like, I know it's a lot. And, like, due to my background, it was a lot of, like, self-doubts, like just knowing where I came from. And December of 2023 is when I felt like God told me to run for Miss Grambling. And I felt like I was going crazy. Like, I'll never forget this time. I felt like I was going crazy. I was having a lot of self-doubts. But it was just like one miracle after the next. Like I said, I'll never forget this time. I had my church pour into me. It was like...
Yeah.
Wait, can we take a break? Because I don't want to get emotional.
No, you can't. That's okay.
Okay.
I do have another question. How has life as a queen been so far?
They gotta laugh to the pain, but so to me, I still look at it as a blessing. Like, just what a blessing it is, not only to be Miss Grambling, but I say to be called by God to be in this position, but not also like to be called by God, but also for the students to trust me to serve as their Miss Grambling. So for one, I look at it as a blessing. And then for two, it's like, of course, the higher levels, the more devils, I like to say. Because it's like, I like to look at it as if everybody could be Miss Grambling. If it was easy being Miss Grambling, everybody would be able to. So, of course, that comes with, like, challenges. I still deal with a lot of, like, imposter syndrome, self-doubt. So right now, in this moment, I feel like I'm definitely going through this phase of, like, dying out to the old Jess'Lyn and having to embrace this new Jess'Lyn. Like I said, I came to Grambling not knowing, like, what was going to happen. Everybody thought I was going to drop out. And now it's like I've created a whole new person. So like I said, laugh to the pain, but I mean, to me, it's still been a blessing. I would never, like, change this opportunity for anything else. And I mean, to whom much is given, much is required. So, yeah.
It's like, it can be difficult. Like, you're going to have some challenges. And it's definitely hard because it's like, not many people understand what you're going through. Really, no one understands what you're going through. Except maybe other Miss Grambling. Even though, like, this is your time. This is a new year. You're under new leadership with the president and everything. So you're having an experience that, like, the past Miss Gramblings haven't had at all, because President Gallo was here for so long. So it's different, and it's going to come, like, things are going to come and you're going to have to, like, roll with the punches, But over time, you'll start to really embrace it and realize God put me in this position, and he's going to equip me with everything I need and continue to help me along the way. So that's amazing, and I love that. And I know you're going to have an amazing rest of your reign. I know you just had coordination. How was coordination day different?
Yes, coordination was definitely a...
Saddening.
it still felt like so real in a sense. But I guess when I was on the stage, that's when everything hit me like a big slap in the face, like, girl, you're really Miss Grambling now. So coronation was amazing. It was beautiful, and it was kind of like a dream come true. It was like, okay, it's finally here. Like, you've worked so hard, and it's finally here. Like, your time is here.
Absolutely. Your time is now.
Yes.
Okay, so finish the sentence. I want my legacy as queen to be.
Oh, now that's a good one.
Thank you. That's our last one.
Okay. I want my legacy as queen to be inspiring. Again, just like looking back at how I started to now, and like just the challenges that I faced each year, I want students to look at me in a sense and just be like, well, if Jess'Lyn can do it, I can do it too. I also have an autoimmune disease called Crohn's, and I've faced a multitude of trials with that, learning how to re-walk, learning how to re-eat, just being here at school, and then still having to like maintain my grades. And I'm just the type of person where I still want to be doing X, Y, and Z, even though I weigh 80 pounds because my Crohn's disease is flared up right now. So I say inspiring just because, like I said, I faced a multitude of challenges, but the one thing I never did was gave up. Despite how many times people were like, Jess'Lyn, like, just come home, take a break. I look back at that now and I'm just like, imagine if I would have taken a break, or if I would have went home, I would have not been where I'm at today. So yeah, I want to leave my legacy of inspiring other people to, no matter like where you're at, no matter what you're going through, you never know how God is going to change your situation that following year, or that following week, or that following month.
That's good. That's beautiful. I love it. And it's so true. Like, it talks about that in the Bible, how God will place these challenges in your life, and He'll give it to people that He knows can handle it. And those challenges will make you stronger, because you have to go through these things to get to the point that He wants you to be at. Like, you won't be able to get there until you go through these things. You have to see all of these phases.
Yeah, so definitely.
I love that. So I want us to go back a little bit, and you've been talking about it throughout the interview, but every woman is a queen. So before you won your official title as Miss Grambling, what were some early accomplishments and achievements in your life? So
just starting off in the high school, just throwing it back, I grew up in a household where it was only glorified if you played sports. I played sports, but that wasn't my big, like, I didn't have a big interest in it. I had more of an interest in academics. And at the time, it was more like, like considered nerdy or like geeky. But it started off with me creating a club. It was like Business Professionals of America at my high school. And then again, I went to a predominantly white high school, and I ended up being vice president of my senior class. It was me and my friend. She was also Black. I was VP. She was president. So just from there, I kind of knew I had like a passion for like service. Oh, and then I was also in another organization called FCCLA. And that's really where my service kind of kicked off. It was a student-led organization, and we would compete in like national and like state level conventions. So we would do a service project, and then we would have to kind of create like a presentation on the service project we did. So that kind of like kicked off my involvement in service. And then coming to Grambling, again, I was like, ooh, like SGA, all like these big organizations that may be too much for me. But I got into my first organization, which was SGA, due to Cam Jackson. I'll never forget. I had applied for Director of Public Relations. Now, that position was only for juniors and seniors. And I was a freshman, but I was like, I'm going to just try because I need to do something. And during the interview, it was during COVID, and he was just saying, like, how do y'all feel about people getting the vaccine? And everyone was like, oh, well, I think everyone needs to get the vaccine. If you don't have it, you're being selfish. And I was so scared to speak up. But I was like, well, I don't have the vaccine just because like I have an autoimmune disease, I have Crohn's. So not everyone may be selfish. It may be due to some like health issues. And me speaking up that one time is how I ended up getting that position, because he was saying how the fact that like I stood up for myself in a sense. So that was my first position, Director of Public Relations. From there, I did Tiger Resource Room Representative in SGA, where we reopened the Whataburger Room, which is for students to get like food and stuff, pantry items. And then from there is when I got involved in SLI. I love the President Student Leadership Initiative. Now that's really how I started to unleash my voice, I like to say. Again, I was very shy, very nervous, but in SLI we did different kind of like leadership events that kind of helped me or like get out of my comfort zone in a sense. So when I first got in, I became Miss SLI, and then this past year I became Vice President of SLI. And backtracking just a little bit, the 1 year where I had got super sick with my Crohn's disease. And like I said, I had to relearn how to walk. I had to relearn how to eat. I was also an RA, and I was almost to the point where I was like, I'm too sick. Let me just go home like my family is telling me, and let me just like take a break from school. I only stayed because I got accepted into honors college. So I had got accepted to honors college. And like I said, I love school. I love academics. So that was just like a checklist off my bucket list. So after my first year of being in honors college, I also became Miss Aerolistical Honors College. So Miss Aerolistical Honors College, Miss SLI, VP of SLI. I started this initiative, which is Empower Her, which that also started just because, that also started just because 2 years ago, was it last year? Last year, I think. Again, I was going through just like a rough time, and I was Vice President of SLI, and I was Miss Honors College. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm going through a rough time and I still have like these big positions, I know there's so many other students going through a rough time. And on my Empower Her initiatives, I actually have Madison and Jordan, and I had chose Madison and Jordan just because I had always looked up to Madison and Jordan, like just seeing like what they did and like how they carried themselves. Yes, it was for students, but it was also for me because I needed that motivation. So just from there, that was my first one. So then in the spring,
So before you tell them what Empower Her is.
Tell them what Empower Her. So Empower Her is just empowering women despite their challenges. Because like I said, during that time, I was going through a multitude of things, but I was still putting on this persona that like I had everything figured out. Like I'm just not saying like this perfect image, but like trying to
Putting on a face.
So Empower Her, like I said, it is empowering women through their challenges, which is why the first one was just Madison and Jordan, and I wanted them to talk more about like how it is being in such. At the time, Madison was Miss Grambling. So at the time, just talking about how it is being in these high positions and like how do you get through adversity and challenges and stuff like that. So did that answer your question?
Yes.
So the second one, I partnered with some more people. I partnered with World and Vision, and I partnered with Jamie Dindy. She is a accounting service in Ruston. And then I partnered with a nonprofit in Dallas, and they came down and they spoke. It was a group of women, and they just kind of spoke about how they grew in their careers and like what challenges they face. So again, just empowering women through their challenges and stuff.
I love that. And I remember going to Empower Her and not knowing much about what it was, but I know you gave me the questions once we started the conversation, the dialogue. It was really great just to hear the feedback that so many women really do need these kind of like we need to just start having more girl talk, especially like with the women at Grambling. We're kind of all in a sense dealing with the same thing, same stuff, like just in different ways. So it just looks different, but it's all the same thing at the end of the day. And I feel like that event really brought a lot of women together. And so much great feedback. So definitely like keep doing that. Especially starting with the freshmen, the girls, they need it. So they need to learn like this is Grambling, this is college, it's different the first time you're waking your family. So here are some things you need to know. Just to help you continue to grow well and thrive throughout college. So
That's amazing.
So with these accomplishments, who was your support system? Who was in your corner? And then after that, I want to get into like, what was your childhood and upbringing like?
Okay. So my number one support system was my grandma. Like I said, I faced a multitude of challenges being here at Grambling. And she was the one person who, despite anything that I was going through, she was the main one who was always like, you'll get through it, like very optimistic about any situation I was going through. And like I said, my first 2 years, she would always make jokes like, oh, well, I think you can be Miss Grambling. You're going to be the next Miss Grambling. And I would always be like, no, but now it's like, okay, did you speak that into existence, Grandma? And my grandma has never left my side. Despite everything, I mean, she's been the main one to kind of like keep my head above water in a sense. When everyone doubted me, she was the main one lifting me up. When I felt like my back was against the wall, she was always holding my hand. And then besides my grandma, my best friend, Danya. So I met me and Danya, we've been best friends since middle school, since like 6th grade. Her and her family have also encouraged me. Like I said, I'm a first gen, so I wasn't really taught the importance of education. But her family have installed in me like the importance. They kind of helped me too when I first came, actually. And they're still here today. And her family story kind of resonates or aligns with mine in the sense her dad came from Iran to Texas. He started off making like 10 cents an hour busing at restaurants, paid his way. He went to University of Texas, paid his way to get through college. It took him 9 years. So he always jokes with me like, oh, Jess'Lyn, it took me 9 years. Like, don't rush, but 9 years. So it took him 9 years to graduate, but he finally finished, and now he owns multiple dental offices. So yes, just always being able to like revert back to them when I feel like, oh, I can't do it because of my background. Danya's family really like helps me, and then also my grandma. And then what was the second question? Oh, my upbringing. Oh, so, how can I put this? I would like to say, I'm trying to look for a word. My upbringing wasn't easy. On my mom's side, I was the oldest of 2, now 3, because my mom just had a baby. And on my dad's side, I was the youngest of 6. So just like back and forth, it was like my mom's side, I was like a second mother. And on my dad's side, I was like the baby. So it was kind of, hard, like playing both roles in a sense. My mom was the only parent trying to raise 3 girls. So of course, like we went through a lot of challenges, and we grew up in a suburban area, but we struggled a lot. And then on my dad's side, he's in the military, so he was gone a lot. Can we take a break? Can we take a break?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So I know being a student leader definitely has its challenges. How do you practice self-care and really protect your peace?
Oh, well, right now I'm still trying to figure that out 100%. But I know some things I do right now is I still dedicate time to, one, go to church when I can, because I know we'll be traveling a lot. Well, we travel a lot now. But when I can go to church, Sundays and Wednesdays. So Wednesday nights, there's a spot that I just love in Monroe. I always take myself out to go get wings, because they have like Wing It Wednesday or something. So I go get wings and I go straight to church. So I mean, they're not small, but those 2 things for sure kind of like help me regroup in a sense. I think as of now, that may be all. I'm trying to see what else. Like I said, this is still like a learning process. So I'm still trying to find like new things that, will help me stay grounded. But for now, like I know Wednesdays and Sundays are my off days. I'm at church. Like I need to regroup.
So that's good. I like that. And definitely having that church community away from home is also really good. And that support system and having an outlet of somewhere you can go. So that's good. And then you'll have to like be very aware in like what you're doing, and you'll learn, oh, this kind of relaxes me. Like, I'm going to make sure I do this again. Like, just try to take in every moment and realize, oh, I'm happy right now. Like, this is peaceful for me, and continue those things, because you'll definitely need it. Okay, and let's see. This is such a precious time in life. The undergraduate experience itself is so unique and one of a kind. So from your perspective, what do you think or see for the future of Grambling?
Oh, for one, due to the fact that we have President Lamel, I see a lot of innovation. I don't want to say a whole like 360, but I see Grambling being taken to a next level just due to the leadership that we're under. I think we're definitely moving in the right direction. So, like I said, I see more innovation. I see more, like right now we're in the digital library. So I see different like tech opportunities being brought to the campus. More exposure. I think our international students are definitely, making their mark here. We've already had like a good sense of international students, but now like just really bringing in like that culture and like embracing the culture and really using that, our slogan, where everybody is somebody. I see that really taking off and being used in different perspectives.
That makes sense. How do you want to use your platform that you ran for as Miss Grambling to help continue to grow the university?
Oh, ask that again. That's good. Ask it one more time so I can
And
think.
how do you plan to use the platform that you ran for as Miss Grambling to help grow the university?
So my platform, Beyond the Mic, Unleash Your Voice, Rewrite Your Story. In one of my platform points, I talked about creating a podcast to help promote inclusion in a sense. So that's still in the works right now, but that is the main thing that I'm focused on, just because I feel like if I have a story, I feel like so many other students here at Grambling have a story. I'm not sure what it is. I feel like it's really at Grambling, but it's just something about us, in a sense, like being molded. I feel like we come to Grambling one way and we leave another way. And I feel like those type of stories need to be told. So one way that I really want to use my platform to like help grow Grambling is to start this podcast so students have the opportunity to start telling their stories in a sense. And I feel like, in a sense, that would definitely help Grambling begin our like storytelling. I feel like we already do that, but to hear like different student stories and like even like faculty, I feel like that would also take us to the next level.
I love that. And I love that your platform was Unleash Your Voice, and then Rewriting Our Stories is really like telling your testimony as well. Like that's beautiful. The Grambling is definitely the best HBCU in my opinion. And it's only going to continue to grow. So are you excited for homecoming?
Yes, I am more than excited. Again, this is me being Miss. Now I'm more excited because now I'm Miss Grambling. But I've always loved homecoming. Bayou is Cotton Bowl have been like my top three. I don't miss. So yeah, I am more than excited. And of course, we'll be having our reunion brunch, our Miss Grambling reunion brunch.
Yes.
So I'm more than excited about that. So yeah.
What are you most looking forward to for homecoming, Mitch? Because I know you're going to be busy probably Sunday to Sunday.
Sunday to Sunday. No sleep homecoming. I don't know why, but it's really the reunion brunch. I think in a sense, just seeing all of the 1901 queens come and like just seeing the legacy in a sense, I think that's what I'm most excited for. Because of course, like I've met some, I've got to know some, but like this will be the real time where we all get to like bond in a sense. So I think that's what I'm most excited for, to see everyone and really like embrace the legacy of Miss Grambling.
Right. It has a rich history. It's cool to me that where there's 71 queens now, but there's more before they started counting.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and I really wanted to learn more about that. I remember I was in class last year. I wanted to do a project where we did the history of Miss Gramblings, because I was like, we study so many things at the university, but I feel like this is something that we could really dive deep into, because like you said, everyone has a story.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear the journey and see how everything's gone.
Yeah.
So,
And then I know Miss Bridget was telling me how, like, at first it was called like Miss Natural or something. Have you heard that?
Really?
Yeah.
I
So
think I've heard of that.
yeah. So to me, that is interesting. Just like seeing how, like, over time, like the legacy not changed, but like has grew in a sense.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of interested.
And I was telling you, I was like, we should do like a documentary should be released on the history of Miss Gramblings. And I don't know, I just made me feel Beyonce or Rihanna should be me. I don't know, but we'll have to see. We'll have to come back to it. But definitely that would be cool. And I know there used to be a Miss Bayou Classic. So during interviews, I like to do a little segment called Unfiltered with Madison, where I just want you to be real with me. And really, we could just have girl talk. So
Okay.
what do you think is the most significant life lesson you've learned in the last year?
To not compare my journey to others. Last year, I was in another very difficult situation due to like my housing situation. So I was living with friends at the time, still trying to like pursue my education. And I'll never forget, I was comparing I forgot her name, but it was someone else right before they graduated. But I was comparing myself to them, and I was like, oh, well, she's doing so much. And like, look at me, like I'm just a regular student. And now again, it's like, you just never know how God is going to like turn your story around. So for me, it's just, well, since then, I've always just been like, never compare like your journey, because everyone's journey is different. And then I would also be like, oh, I wish I had parents who came to school, or I wish my parents did this more. But it's like, I can still make it to like where I want to go without, everyone's journey is different. So stop comparing my journey to someone else's, when I may have to do much more like twists and turns, but I still may get to my destination. And just because someone's journey is a straight shot, that doesn't mean I won't get to where I need to go to, if that makes sense. I'm trying to make it make sense, but I know that was like the biggest lesson that I learned last year, because I remember crying to my friend Keisha, and I was just like, I just wish my life was easier. I wish I was like her. I wish my parents supported me. And it's just like, I did all that crying, and look at me. So like, you just never know what's in store for you. So there's just no reason to compare your journey to someone else's.
Right. Yeah, I definitely understand that feeling. And honestly, just being real, like, we compare ourselves to things every day, especially with social media. It's like things are so unrealistic, and I wish sometimes we could just see the real on stuff, because people are only going to put their best out there, and that's what we kind of have to remind ourselves, like, this is the best of what this person has.
Yeah.
Anything they're going through or their struggles, they're not really posting that for the media to see. So definitely understand comparing yourself to others. And I have 2 more questions for you, but before I get to the last question, how do you deal with criticism?
Well, I'm very sensitive, so it's been taking me a lot, to kind of like pick out the good and pick out the bad. Because again, like, this position is new to me, so I do need that criticism sometimes. But sometimes I feed into it way too much, to where I'm steady thinking, like I'm letting it consume me in a sense. So I'm actually in therapy, so that's something that I've been like working on myself, to like know when, to take criticism, and then know when to something about like something with a bone and throw the bone out, something that he always says.
I heard about that.
Yeah,
I don't know
like,
exactly enough.
Chew the meat, spit out the bone. Something. So that's something I've been trying to learn, because I feel like with this position, or like with any student leadership position or any position that somebody else wants, you're going to hear a lot. People always have something to say.
Always.
And just because they have something to say doesn't mean you always need to feed into it, learn what to feed into and what not. So to me, that's still a learning process, because I am a sensitive Sally. But I'm definitely getting better.
Yeah, I remember the first time, I think I saw something it was on Fizz.
Oh, Lord.
Gosh, I don't, okay, so the app started off and it was like, it was supposed to be positive, anonymous
Yeah.
things. I think I saw something, it was like, why Miss Grambling falling asleep on stage. I said, I was falling asleep on stage. I think I was like rocking back and forth because I was cold. They were like, Miss Grambling was rocking on stage. And I was thinking about that over and over. And like, after I left the event, I was like, they're going to think I'm the rocking Miss Grambling.
Right.
Like,
And they'll get to you,
yes,
too.
it will. But you have to just learn that people are going to talk about things one day and then the next day they're on to something new.
Right.
They're always going to have something to say. So definitely learning who you are, knowing who you are, knowing that at the end of the day, you're God's child and he's the only one that can judge.
Yes.
So that's good. I want to come back to this question. You told me what legacy you wanted to leave as queen, and it was to inspire others. But what legacy do you want to leave as Jess'Lyn?
Because I think I still have two that I want to say. The first one is just as Jess'Lyn without the crown, without the sash. I want to be remembered as the girl who. I want to be remembered as the can't even get it out. I want to be remembered as the rose who grew from concrete. Despite the challenges I face, despite all odds against me, in a sense, I still rose. And then the second one that I want to be remembered as, due to me unleashing my voice, I was able to rewrite my story here at Grambling. Thank you.
So proud of you.
Thank you, Maddie.
Just hearing your story and learning more about you, because a lot of this I just did not know.
Yeah.
It truly is like touching. And I remember during campaign, I couldn't talk to you that much, but I remember everyone was like, have you heard Jessie's story? Like, I was like, I haven't heard it. I haven't been able to talk to her. They're like, it's so good. Like, it truly inspired me to want to tell my story. Just hearing the other students' perspectives and then talking with Miss Bridget after he won, I was like, I think Jess'Lyn is going to do well. It's already seeing how the students feel comfortable and safe with her. I think that she will be an amazing queen and leave a beautiful legacy. So congratulations, Jess'Lyn.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for tuning in to The Yard.